What's up, guys? You're seeing my new Vista PC. It'll be the thing which I play all those games there. Sorry for the mess, but it's just been one of those things. This is the heart of the platform, or the body, I guess. Antec 902. This is a very popular case based off that one up there, which is the 900. And the only problem in this case, it's perfectly mint apart from the last case badge in it was apparently made of kryptonite. And just wouldn't come off, so I'm going to put this Gigabyte badge here to cover it up, because we happen to have a Gigabyte motherboard. So this is my motherboard which I'm using, which is a GA790 XTA UD4. It's a fairly decent motherboard, has all the features I want, and I can't really complain about it, if I'm honest. And apart from that top slot there, if you put a graphic card in it, sometimes it doesn't like the graphic card, I don't know why, but it eventually works. So I'm happy with that. I have a CPU from AMD, naturally, because this is an AMD platform, or this will be an all AMD platform. So I have got an Phenom X2 965, overclocked to 3.8. I think I will be changing the cooler eventually to my V6 cooler, which because it just has a bit more capability of cooling. I got 8 gigabytes of Corsair dominated GT RAM on here. That is at 1866. Does very well. And let's have a look and see what else I got. I'm going to be using this HD4890. Let's see if it doesn't run away. The main reason why I'm using this is because I just think it looks cool. I think these aren't very common anymore. The HD4870 you can find pretty much anywhere, but a 4890 is a bit more hard to find. I do have two of these cards made by FFX. This one's the weaker card at a lower clock speed, which even if you match the clock speed of the faster card, this is still slower. I think that's something to do with the power on this card. It just doesn't do power as well. Don't mind, because this card doesn't need to be overpowered to play the games like Fear, Gears of War. This thing is still more than powerful to play all the games I want. I do have two backup cards. Backup number one is this GTX 560 from ASUS. This is actually a lot more powerful than the actual card, which is good, because it's not worth anything, to be honest with you. You can find GTX 560s every day, all day. I've got this is actually my third one I have. I'm looking forward to actually having some EVGA ones one day. Last backup is this GTX 275, which I don't think I've ever had another 275 card ever. So I think this is the only ever 275 card I've ever seen within the NVIDIA lineup. This is also slightly more powerful than this card, and I know I should be using the most powerful card, but it's just not my thing. These are the drives I'm going to be using. Velociraptor 500 gigabyte, and two more Velociraptors 500 gigabyte. Yes, so this is going to be a whole Raptor storage situation going on here. I'm very excited about that, because it's actually I honestly do think that's going to make the systems a lot more speedy and responsive. I have lots of SSDs I could use, but it's Windows Vista. Do you really need SSD for Vista? Probably. And I'm going to be getting some other parts into the system in the meantime, because when I build a PC, I normally put the power supply, the drives in, the fans in, and I normally put in the motherboard last. And the main reason why is because if I drop something like a power supply on a motherboard or hard drives onto a motherboard, it's probably going to do some damage. The only time you would put in hard drives in afterwards if the case was tiny. But you can probably see this is not a tiny case. This is actually a very regular sized case with no real issues there. So I have installed my Zarman fan control. This is a ZM MFFC 1 Plus. It's a nice black aluminium finish. I used to have one of these when I built my first ever system. This gives me 6 channels of fan controlage. And yeah, I always put on the top. So I'll be putting my DVD drive there next. Hopefully it won't be the world's loudest and vibraty one. Sometimes I seem to get those all the time. So drives have been installed. So I got my LG drive here from 2007. Got my bay cover here. I could put a Blu-ray drive in here if I wanted to. I do have one. I have one here. I have 3 more over there. So I've got an LG one. I've got these 2 ones here. I think these 2 over here are like some of the original ones back in the day. I think those cost $1,000 between them. I think they were £500 each when they first came out. Something ridiculous like that. So let's keep on going. Oh, I'm going to be putting these green Bit Phoenix fans at the front. So this is going to be an AMD system with a green glow in it. I just think it's a bit ironic to have green fans with a non-NVIDIA system. I guess AMD used to be green. Yeah, it used to be in 2006. Anyway, moving on. So this is where it stands right now. I have 2 of my fans installed at the front here. I've got all the Raptors installed, all 3 of them. I've never used a whole Raptor system before, so this is going to be pretty entertaining. And I'm going to install the fan here next, then the power supply. And then once I'm happy with all of that, I will start doing some cable management, install the motherboard, get the idea. Anyway, hopefully the next video will show a bit more progress. So this is the state of the build right now. The motherboard's in, the power supply's in, that fan is in. I always put in the 8-pin extension in first because you don't want to do it afterwards, otherwise that's just going to be a nightmare to get to later on. It's easier just to tuck it through back afterwards. Sound card here, it's one of those Creative Extreme ones, 7.1. It's a nice card. I've got 2 of these, and this one is going to the system. I think it will enable the additional features I'm looking for in games like EAX. Anyway, now it's time to get some wiring done. The biggest challenge will be actually the fans, because there's so many fans inside this system, at least there will be. And trying to make sure they're all wired nicely and politely is quite good. Unfortunately, I did scuff the motherboard here when I was trying to put that on, because this thing would not go on. So I used it as leverage and it slipped, and hopefully I didn't damage the board at the bottom. Hopefully not, we'll find out later. If not, I'll have to go to the backup board. Alright, so this is where the system is now. I've wired majority of the fans in. I've just got to wire these in into the fan controller up the front. The nice Zolman one. Got to put the sticker on here to cover up the residue from the last sticker. And this should require some work to get the back panel on. But after that, this system is looking very good. So, probably already talked about this before. But we got the Gigabyte AM3 board. It's the GA7X UD4, whatever it is. Got the Corsair GT RAM there, 8 gigs. Got the stock Wraith cooler from my Ryzen PC like 5-6 years ago. Still in good condition. Still works. We got the Phenom 2 965, Creative Sound Card, FFX 4850, which I've not plugged in the power connectors, I just noticed. Okay, that's the next thing I need to do after I've wired the cable in for these fans. These cards don't run actually that hot now, especially the 4890s, but this on top of that should overall cool the system a bit better. I don't think this will do that much for this particular card. If this was a GTX 480, this would be insane. This would actually cool the card very well. We've got all the Raptor drives in. So this is all looking very positive. We've got my Bit Phoenix green fans in, which I probably should have tested before I put them in, because they are second hand. And everything else seems to be going well. This is looking like a very good build to play all my old games. So here is the final completed item. It's just loading up Mass Effect right now, the original, which is always good right here. It plays Mass Effect pretty well. I've had a few issues with trying to get this work with the DRM, which has always been fun. And as you can probably see, it's looking like a pretty clean build. I had a few issues with it, which included the 6-pin extension lead I bought from China. Well, big surprise, it didn't work. And I think that's the main issue. I think the plans for this PC is to just enjoy it and use it. I might look for a spare motherboard in case this one ever dies, if I'm honest. The only issues may be the power supply down the line. It is a very top-end power supply. It's 800 watt Odin power supply, which I got for £1 a long time ago. Which I was going to use for another build, but instead I used it for this one. And yeah, I'm just very happy with it. So let me know inside the comments if you like this build or this kind of build, and what would you have done differently. And if you guys could subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, good or bad, I don't really mind. I just enjoy reading the comments. I may not respond to each one. It just motivates me to actually post my content, because I've actually done videos but never posted them, just due to the pure fact I just think no one would actually want to watch them. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'm going to play some more Mass Effect now. Bye.